we picked this diamond. We only deal with natural diamonds. This is very important to say. We don't deal with lab or treated diamonds. We're talking about natural green diamonds.
Nicolas,
Yes.
it's a really big pleasure to be here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you.
So I would like to ask you a first question. It's a ritual question that we have to also give the context to whoever is gonna watch the interview, is gonna hear the episode. Who are we with today? Who is Nicolas Garatti?
So I'm Nicolas Garatti. I'm currently the president of Garatti Milano, which is a jewelry excellence brand, and very known for their green diamonds, which we are very passionate about. And the imprinting that we have that behind our story, it's a family. So it's not just me, it's my beautiful mother, Milena Garatti, and my little brother, which is Luca Garatti, is his name. So it's a family behind a dream, and we are trying to build that and make it, other than our passion, to actually make it our future. And we are trying to create a brand that is a bit different from usual. So we mainly concentrate on the rarest diamonds that we have on this planet. We're most famous for green and red diamonds, which is the first and second rarest diamonds on the planet. And we are trying to bring this message to the world that a diamond, something so unique, can actually hold a value other than just the price tag that this diamond can have, but also a value that can be passed down through generations. And
That there is something more, you know?
Exactly. And there is always a story to tell about these diamonds.
Okay. So since you kind of anticipated a question that I wanted to ask you, about indeed, the family brand Garatti.
Yes.
Where does Garatti's story in the world of diamond begin?
Yes, so it begins through my family. I'm actually second generation in the business. My mom has been a gemologist for over 25 years. And let's say that it was a passion that my family brought together throughout the years. And we were never forced into taking this path. But me and my brother decided to follow my mom's footsteps because it's such a beautiful and intriguing world, and we wanted to bring as much value as we could to the business. I also followed my mom's footsteps on the gemological part. Now I'm a diamond specialist.
How did you become, which is the steps to follow to become, since it's not a topic that we treat, daily. I'm also curious on my own, to understand a little bit the word behind this word, I would say.
Of course. So, there is a certain amount of studies that you have to do in the business. I always recommend when someone is willing to take this path and for knowledge to understand better this word. These courses are pretty specific onto stones, onto everything that has to do with the technical side of the business, which obviously follows the other side of the business, which is all the distribution worldwide of these green diamonds, which we control 90% of. So we're trying to bring this very special diamond known to the world, which are not known as much as some of the rare diamonds. I can say that I grew up into diamonds because since I was 14 years old, I was looking at diamonds, looking at stones with my little lens, even when I didn't understand as much as I do now about these diamonds. But this developed a passion in me and my brother. And of course, after we had to take these courses to become specialists in
this field.
In this field, yes. And also be able to recognize or actually give a proper evaluation of these diamonds as we deal with the worldwide market.
Of course. I was doing some researches, to study the field before the interview.
Yes.
I also saw that there is kind of a certificate about, the authenticity and the ethical, origin of the diamonds, which is like the Kimberley process, right?
Yes, exactly.
Which is something that you also value a lot because, from what I know, diamonds comes from all around the world,
Absolutely.
So you need to also also in terms of, you know, authenticity and like the image of the brand, you need to guarantee that the sourcing of these precious, you know, material, they were extracted in an ethical way. No?
Absolutely. This is very key for the brand, not only for an image point of view, but it's very critical for us to make sure that all our diamonds are under the Kimberley process, which you mentioned. And that's why we only deal with diamonds that are GIA certified,
Okay.
which is the Gemological Institute of America, which is the strongest institute of certification of stones
Okay.
worldwide. This allows us to make sure that from the sourcing all the way to the cutting and the
All the process, you know, all the
Exactly.
supply chain.
Exactly.
I
So
think.
all the supply chain, it's controlled, and we can actually make sure that these diamonds are sourced in the right way and can be delivered in the right way. So we keep this market and this field as beautiful as it actually is. You
Of
know?
course, of course.
Yes.
And because you mentioned it before, it's a family business. You run the business with your beautiful mother, as you said, with your young brother. How is it like to deal with your family? You know, not only at home but also, you know, during your work daily life.
Yes.
I would say.
So we really keep business and family divided in a
Apart,
way.
like
when we-
divided.
Exactly. So obviously at home, mom is always the boss. When we are in the company, right now I'm the president of the company, but I have to say that we share the same dreams, the same
Vision. Also.
vision
The
and
same
goals that we wanna
ambitions.
exactly. So we hardly ever find ourselves in with two different way of thinking. We're always on the same path. Sometimes there is not even need to talk, and we already know where we're going, what we're doing, and obviously knowing that you have someone so trusted by your side, it obviously makes the journey much smoother.
Talking about the beginning of your journey
Yes.
inside the company, there was a specific moment where you took the lead, because you were telling us that, you know, it was something that you were always fascinated about.
Yes.
But you know, when it was the moment from you know, where it was just simple curiosity, simple passion, and it became something that was that became, you know, your daily work.
Yeah. So mainly we arrived at a point with supplying these diamonds. Unfortunately, when we were dealing, especially with the owners of the mines throughout the world, my mom was having some difficulties because in some cultures it's not the easiest to actually deal and with women, meaning they don't, sometimes it's much harder to find open doors when you are a female in some businesses.
Of course.
While you're actually trying to close transactions and everything.
Okay.
So
to close deals.
Exactly. Okay. So the more we go up there in sourcing, the harder it got. So at one point, I had to step up by my mom's side and actually started dealing with most of the main owners of the mines throughout the world and actually start dealing with her. So when I was just 18, I can't say I got forced because it was obviously an honor to be able to do that.
But your family needed you.
Exactly, my family needed you, and that's when I knew I had to step up and take my part into the
this world, this
exactly,
business.
this world, this journey that we were gonna take together. So I had to grow a beard since I was 18,
Okay.
and I still have it now. I cannot see myself without it. And to look older, because I was just 18, dealing with some of the most important people in the market.
Okay.
To supply these very rare diamonds, because it's obviously a journey that now it's exploded, but it's a journey that was created in years of traveling the world, finding the right suppliers, finding the right ethical chains to actually supply these diamonds, which is very key to us. And so I had to step up, and with my mom on my side, we managed to close the deals that brought us here today.
Okay.
And so whenever the company started expanding, at some point My mom gave me the opportunity to become president of the company,
Okay.
and now we kind of divide the roles. She's the artistic part of the company.
Okay.
I make sure that everything
Okay.
works out, which is also obviously key for a business.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Since you gave me an assist about something that I wanted to ask you always, because you know I think it's a fascinating word, the ones of diamonds. Like, how does it start when you think about final product that you want to realize, like an high-end jewelry piece?
Yes.
How does it start? Like from
So-
the sourcing of the raw materials, from the minerals. Can you lead us
Yes.
through this
Absolutely.
journey?
So it divides in two ways. So all the pieces that my mom creates, which is the collections that we see now on a lot of the newspapers around the world, these are all pieces that it's my mom's creation. So these are not for sale, these are just for show. And on the other side, what we do with our clients, we are very selective with the people that we allow to buy this type of diamonds, because obviously it's a very limited supply. So we need to pick carefully who works by our side, because obviously we are lucky enough to be able to choose who we work with. This being said, we start from deciding which stone our clients are going to pick. So we mainly deal with green diamonds at the moment, but we also have some red diamonds. We have 3 out of 24 red diamonds on the planet.
Wow.
We also have quite a lot of supply also of blue and pink diamonds, but now let's say that it's the green diamond moment. So what we do, we sit down with our customers.
It's the one on hype.
Exactly. Let's say it's the second rarest diamond on the planet, as I said. So, but it's still very much undervalued compared to how rare these diamonds actually
The real
are.
value.
So we are trying to make this known to the world. So whenever we meet a client that is willing to take this journey with us with these green diamonds, we select a stone together with our expertise. We're very selective on our stones. We obviously don't pick any green diamond. So from a certain quality and up, we pick this diamond. We only deal with natural diamonds. This is very important to say.
Okay.
We don't deal with lab or treated diamonds. We're talking about natural green diamonds.
Okay.
So the rarest diamonds that we have on this planet. So once the person selects the stone, he sits down with our designers, and they create a unique jewelry piece.
A custom made.
Exactly, a custom made piece that is made for the customer.
Wow.
So there is never one piece that it's the same as another one.
Okay.
So every piece that we make, it's a unique piece, and we do not ever reproduce it.
Wow.
So it's more a tailor-made process that we do onto the customer based on whatever they're trying to represent, whatever the idea of the design is. We can make anything happen.
Wow.
You know.
So you literally do the journey along the side, like together with the client to realize these pieces.
Absolutely,
Wow.
they become part of a big family they created around the company, which it's becoming more and more popular in a very, very fast period of time. And yeah, so we make sure that it's something unique. It's something that you make for yourself. You know,
Okay.
It's not something necessarily to show off. It's something unique that holds a value that is going to increment in value in time, and that can be also, if the person decides, can be passed down through generations.
Okay.
Because that's, I think it's one of the key points of a jewelry piece, especially a custom-made jewelry piece.
Okay. Like each piece is conceived as a silent portrait of its wearer, I would say, no?
Exactly.
Like it's something also that I got fascinated about is the fact that you don't compete in volumes. You compete on rarity. Like the scarcity is not a pain point, quite the opposite, you know?
Yeah.
So you don't compete with brands like the most mainstream ones, but like you position it yourself on a different level. And I mean, speaking about the fact also that we are talking about an Italian excellence, I think this is also something to be very proud of.
Yeah,
you know?
it's we are really about our customers. This is what it's very key to us. We We always build a relationship with whoever we allow to buy from us, because obviously we don't have enough supply. There is not enough supply in the world to actually make everyone happy with this kind of product. So we are very selective, and we make sure that the people that buy from us are willing to build a relationship with us. We're also very famous for our events that we do throughout the year. One of our most famous ones is the Orient Express.
The Orient Express
last year.
With Ospedec,
yes,
right?
He also played an incredible role on the Orient Express, which was an incredible experience for our customers. We also had some actors, some actresses on there, which is not necessarily the key, but it makes an experience to build a relationship with our customers.
Of course, you live it. It's not only the precious product itself, but it's like much more,
Yes.
It's the experience that there is around.
Absolutely.
I would say. Actually, there is something also related to one of the topics that we said, and also you said, the fact that you hold the 60% of the global share of green diamonds of the world, literally.
Yes.
Like, how did you arrive to reach this position? Especially, always to highlight, we are talking about an Italian excellence. Is literally dealing with the world.
Yeah. So we mainly, me and my mom, traveled the world and worked in silence for years, till we were ready to actually be able to deliver the product that we wanted to deliver with the right strength that we were trying to deliver it at. So we were sourcing green diamonds since many years. And now we got lucky enough to be able to say that we and our clients hold 90% of the global available green diamond market. So every green diamond that is available on the market, 90% it is either owned by us or one of our customers. So it was a big journey. It wasn't easy, of course. There's a lot of stories to tell, but
I can imagine.
It was always important to us to actually be able to deliver something unique that you can only get here with the quality that we deliver. And this is what made our brand grow so fast. In that people say, how is it possible in 2 years to grow this fast? But it's a 10-year overnight success. You know what I mean?
Of course.
A lot of work behind it to arrive at a point where even if we still have a long journey to go, we can say that we're very proud of what we have achieved and what's about to come.
Since we touched a little bit the topic of the made in Italy, the fact that Garatti is an Italian excellence to be proud of. I would like to ask you, since it's a topic, a recurrent topic of our podcast, I would like to ask you if there is a definition that you have of made in Italy. What made in Italy represents for Nicolas?
Yes.
If there is like a definition that you have.
Absolutely. Well, obviously the easiest thing to say that made in Italy resembles excellence, and this is what everybody says. But it's also true. I was lucky enough to travel the world. I actually grew up half of my life. I spent it in the USA, and I could tell how much value we can bring to the world if we actually can communicate it right, as we were saying before the interview.
Off camera.
It's very key, because obviously we have a certain standard of quality that, done in the right way and communicating the right way, can
arrive straight.
Yes, and can be a big lesson also to the world. We have a lot to learn from the rest of the world, but also I think Italian craftsmanship, Italian cuisine. We have so many topics we could talk about.
So many shades, of the Italian culture, of the Italian savoir-faire.
So I think if we do it the right way, we have a lot to teach as well. We already are lucky enough to have, just by saying it's handmade Italian, it's already a big value that you bring to the world, which can mean everything and nothing, So we're trying to meet the expectation that people have whenever we say we're an Italian brand. We're trying to bring Italian excellence to the world, and this is the key of what we want to achieve in the future.
For the Italian creative, all the meanings behind, the Italian manufacturer, the Italian hands, the Italian thinking, all the shades of it.
So we're trying to meet everybody's expectations with what we're doing,
Of course. There is something that, studying a little bit, the behind the curtains of the brand, I got fascinated about, because today, in also the era of social media, it's kind of a run about, who is showing off more, I would say.
Yeah.
Garatti goes in a completely different direction. Like you create something, as you were saying before, very private. You try to build a relationship, an intimate relationship with the customer.
Yes.
Because you want to create something unique, something that can be like, indeed, as we were saying before, a silent portrait of, not something that you need to scream, but something that you can notice for its own beauty. I would like to ask you, like, where like this value comes from? Why did you decide to go through this way, to not compete for the show off, but to create something that it's much more?
So obviously we were facilitated in this because what started this whole business is passion. So starting from that point, we were always these diamonds are the key. They talk for themselves, and it's about the story that these diamonds have. They have every single diamond is from millions to billions of years old. Just by saying this, each diamond has their own story. It's a nature gift. So we always trying to give the right importance to this work of art from nature, these gifts from nature, that obviously it's what's most important to us. It's not about, obviously that there is a brand that represents quality in whatever we are presenting and giving to our customers, but
it's important to communicate also this, explain, give the context
exactly.
also, of this rarity of this this precious gift, as we were saying,
Exactly. But we're also very concentrated on the quality of the stones. So the stone and the jewelry piece is the center of everything. And then with our clients' art and artistic thinking, they can create and develop whatever they want with it. Our main focus, most of our diamonds end up in private collection, and probably nobody will ever know that these families around the world own these diamonds. So it's not something created to show off, it's something created for yourself. Something that it's your own creation. Obviously Garatti helps you to make that happen.
Make this happen.
Exactly,
Yes.
but it's mainly your own creation that you can decide to wear at an event and make you feel even more beautiful, or you can decide to put it in your private collection and keep it there. Nobody's gonna force you to show it off. It's not a big logo. It's the importance of the stone itself and the rarity itself, and whoever owns it, that design, what it means to the people that buy our products.
The meaning of the piece itself.
Exactly.
Nicolas, I would like to conclude this beautiful conversation with one final question.
Okay.
Asking you if there is any anecdote, memory, like a meeting that you had, in the past, something precious, something that you can still recollect and you carry with you today, that you want to share with us?
Yeah, so this question reminded me of probably the first moment when I actually thought that I wanted to be part of this journey with my parents. And it was when my mom was telling me that since she was a kid, even if she didn't have the resources to actually own the jewelry pieces that she wanted to own, she was making jewelry pieces out of everything she could find, with wires when she was little. And this showed me, I saw in her eyes a passion that...
A true passion.
That I had to help fulfill in any way I possibly could. So I remember that moment when I was thinking, it's worth giving it a try. If it's something that might interest me, then I got involved, and then I loved it even more. And this was probably the first moment when I actually realized that I love diamonds, I love this word, and I think we can bring an added value, because the base of our business is a family, it's a passion, and obviously it's Italian.
It's something
craftsmanship, and it's the made in Italy, which we were talking about before, and I think we're gonna be able to possibly bring a lot of value to this market as well.
Nicolas, thank you very much for this beautiful
so
conversation. That's a wrap. We are done.
Perfetto.